This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 16th day of November in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The opposition APNU-AFC has filed a motion in the National Assembly seeking the Assembly's full condemnation of the murders of teenagers Joel and Isaiah Henry and Harish Singh. The motion also presses the Guyana Police Force to expedite the investigations and ensure justice is served in the matter, while expressing some concern about the state of the police investigations.
To call on the police force to expedite its investigation of the murders of the Henry cousins and Harish Singh. Today, I believe, is the 71st day since the bodies were discovered, and in the case of Harish Singh, I believe the 68th or 67th day. These crimes undoubtedly are hate crimes. I'll stop short from saying whether hate because of politics or hate because of race or even gender. But I believe that anyone who saw those bodies, either physically or through photography, would agree that whoever did this was full of hate.
Justice must be served. These young men in the prime of their youth, living a simple and humble life, on the cusp of adulthood, had their lives taken away from them in the most gruesome and barbaric manner. Those responsible for their deaths must be brought to justice. The perpetrators must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. We are calling for swift and transparent investigations that will identify those responsible for these unspeakable and heinous crimes.
The opposition is hoping that the motion will make its way in the order paper for an upcoming parliamentary sitting and be supported by both sides of the House. The opposition has been pressing the government to do more in ensuring a proper and detailed investigation is completed into the three murders. There have been calls for the government to fund a specialist forensic team from Argentina to assist with the probe. But the government prefers to rely on the expertise of the Guyana Police Force and counterparts in the Caribbean. The Guyana Police Force appears to have hit a stone wall with the investigations. Last week it was announced that a number of new suspects were held, but nothing came out of their arrest. There have been other arrests in the past. Almost 3 months after the three murders on the west coast of Berbice, the police force is coming under pressure with the investigations. It was back in September that the bodies of cousins Isaiah and Joel Henry were found in the Cotton Tree Back Dam. Both bodies were mutilated and bore chop wounds. Days later, the body of Harish Singh was found in the number 3 village Back Dam, hours after he left his home on a motorcycle to visit his family's farm. President Irfan Ali had promised that he would be leaving no stone unturned in the investigations. More news coming up in just a moment.
Guyana, we've been through it all.
But as a people we have
weathered every storm
And risen to every challenge.
because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
All the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
Finally, Miss Pepper is here to tell you about Ravina's on Water Street and Anand's on Regent Street. Just received a fresh shipment of glassware for your kitchen. Drinking glassware have beautiful crystal design and are packed in gorgeous gift box. Ideal to give to your friends, family, and order for Christmas. Ravina's and Anand's have unbeatable prices. Visit them at Ravina's on 78 Water Street or Anand's on 108 Regent Street or call 225-6595.
strong educational foundation is a key to successful learning. Global Technology combines award-winning curriculum with innovative technology and teacher support to help students reach their potential. Our online platform creates an engaging learning experience. Using any device, you can be a part of amazing class discussions, collaborate with others, and have access to virtual learning software. With our multiple payment methods, you will never have to leave home. Find out how Global Technology can allow you to learn anything, anywhere, at any time.
Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Welcome back. There will be additional police ranks in the streets across the country as the Guyana Police Force has rolled out its Christmas security plan. The plan was launched yesterday and will remain in place until the 15th of January. In a statement, the Guyana Police Force said there will be an intensified focus on crime and traffic in all policing divisions, with an increased police presence in the business and shopping centers and communities generally. Police ranks will be involved in increased patrols, while there will be additional roadblocks in some areas, the police force said. The Guyana Police Force also noted that it will be looking forward to the assistance and support of the general public in the execution of its plan, and motorists are being encouraged to respect the rules of the road as the busy holiday shopping season begins. The Guyana Livestock Development Authority and the Ministry of Health today seized over 480 pounds of expired packaged duck meat from a city business. The duck meat was imported from the U.S., but the name of the shipper has not been revealed by the authorities. Director of Veterinary and Public Health Dr. Jose Dodson said the Livestock Development Authority notified the ministry of the product being sold in supermarkets. The items are not documented and therefore are not wholesome for human consumption in Guyana. The goods in the supermarkets will be confiscated in accordance with the Animal Health Act and the Public Health Ordinance. Meanwhile, the authority's Chief Executive Officer Dr. Grayson Halley said his department plans to intensify the inspections as the Christmas season approaches. The Guyana Livestock Development Authority is responsible for issuing the no objection letter if a request is made to import meat product or live animals. The application includes the country of origin and the quantity. A 47-year-old woman from Region 7 became Guyana's latest COVID-19 related death over the weekend. She passed away in a medical institution according to the Ministry of Health. The total number of COVID-19 related deaths now stands at 139. The Ministry of Health today reported that there were 51 new cases of the disease in Guyana. There are still more than 900 active cases across the country, with the majority of those positive cases in home isolation. More than 800 of them. As the holiday shopping season begins, the Ministry of Health is encouraging citizens to remember the importance of physical distancing and the wearing of face masks while out in public. Let's tell you now that a small indigenous village of St. Cuthbert's Mission in Region 4 has still not reached its peak for new coronavirus cases, despite more than 200 cases in the past week. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony today said that the community is being closely monitored. Health teams have been dispatched to the community and more tests are being done. St. Cuthbert's Mission has a population of just over 1,500.
We continue to do testing. We have several doctors who are on site. We have been talking to the community. We have been talking to the residents. Those who have tested positive, we have identified them. We have told them to isolate. And we have been working with the village council. So I think all the various elements that we have practiced elsewhere, we have already put in place at St. Cuthbert's Mission, and we're going to continue to monitor them. So as with a lot of these things, we'll see cases go up, then they hit a peak, and then they start coming down once people abide by the measures. And I don't think we have hit the peak as yet. Maybe in another day or two. So with more testing, we'll probably see a little bit more cases going up.
Dr. Anthony also said most of the cases of COVID-19 at St. Cuthbert's Mission are mild.
The good thing, however, is that for most of the cases that we've had in St. Cuthbert Mission so far, what we notice is that they are very mild cases. A lot of them are asymptomatic, meaning they have no signs or symptoms, but we nevertheless are monitoring them. If, however, anyone do develop any signs or symptoms, then we'll bring those persons down to Georgetown Public Hospital. So far, the team on the ground has been paying keen attention to what is happening, and they will continue to do so, and today we will continue with our testing.
The Mahaica River community is currently on a 2-week lockdown, and if the cases continue to climb, it is likely that the lockdown will be extended in that community. Police investigators in the Guyana Back Dam in Northwest District Region 1 are probing the death of a 16-year-old girl in the community. The girl's lifeless body was found behind her dwelling quarters early on Sunday morning, several hours after she was last seen alive. A police statement detailed that a teenage girl and her mother were at a shop in the area on Saturday afternoon consuming extra mature rum in the company of an unidentified man. The police report said at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the same day, the girl and her mother, who were intoxicated, according to the police, left the shop in the company of the man. The mother would later return to the shop by herself to consume more alcohol. The next morning, the girl's body was found at the back of the living quarters. Investigators are now awaiting a post-mortem examination to ascertain the cause of death. The man who was seen leaving the shop in the company of the girl and her mother is still to be located. The mother is assisting the police with the investigations, which are ongoing. This evening, the Guyana Police Force and the Ministry of Home Affairs are continuing their investigations into that suspected smuggling ring involving Haitian nationals. The Home Affairs Ministry announced over the weekend that a total of 26 Haitian nationals were found in a city hotel and in a bus along the Mabura Road during 2 operations by law enforcement. The government has since clarified that the Haitian nationals are not in police custody, but are in state protective care. The Home Affairs Ministry said the Haitians are being investigated as part of a suspected human smuggling racket and trafficking in persons ring. Details have not been provided. Hundreds of Haitian families have been migrating to Brazil over the past few years through Guyana. Many of them would come to Guyana via Suriname or from Panama and make their way to Latam, then over to Brazil to take up farming jobs. Across the Region is coming up next. Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Christmas season is here once again, and we encourage everybody to be safe. Between October 23rd and December 31st, buy your groceries and fuel from Falls, and you can win a Christmas hamper every week or your fuel purchase free. Just spend $3,000, complete the coupon, drop it in the box, and then listen for your name. And to make it even better, you can win a bumper hamper on Christmas Eve day. Yes, our prices are great, the environment is safe, and everyone wins when you shop in the Falls Christmas promotion, Land of Canaan.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Been through it all.
But as a people, we have
Weathered every storm.
And risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
All the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Across the region right now, Peru's interim president has resigned a day after 2 persons died during protests against his government. Manuel Merino, the former Speaker of Congress, had been in the post less than a week. He replaced President Martin Vizcarra, who last Monday was removed in an impeachment procedure over bribery allegations, which he denies. Politicians had called for Mr. Merino's resignation after a violent crackdown on demonstrations against him. 12 ministers from his recently appointed cabinet resigned earlier on Sunday in protest against police brutality and his handling of the crisis. The Congress failed to agree on a replacement for Mr. Merino when it met yesterday, rejecting a team led by Rocio Silva, a writer and former human rights activist in the country. A new list made up of an interim president and senior politicians from across the spectrum was being drafted earlier today. The BBC reports that Hurricane Lota has strengthened as it roars towards Central America, with meteorologists warning of potentially catastrophic winds and life-threatening storm surge. With winds of up to 160 miles per hour, it is now a Category 5 storm, the strongest on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Lota is predicted to make landfall in northeastern Nicaragua and parts of eastern Honduras. Parts of Central America remain waterlogged by the passing of Hurricane Eta last week. In its latest public advisory earlier today, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said that Lota had reached a Category 5 storm, issuing a number of warnings. And finally tonight, international news. A new vaccine that protects against coronavirus is nearly 95% effective, early data from the U.S. company Moderna shows. The results come hot on the heels of similar results from Pfizer and add to growing confidence that vaccines can help end the pandemic. Both companies used a highly innovative and experimental approach to designing their vaccines. Moderna says it is a great day and they plan to apply for approval to use the vaccine in the next few weeks. However, this is still early data and key questions remain unanswered, reports the BBC. The trial involved 30,000 persons in the U.S., with half being given 2 doses of the vaccine 4 weeks apart. The rest had dummy injections. The analysis was based on the first 95 to develop COVID-19 symptoms. Only 5 of the COVID cases were in people given the vaccines. 90 were in those given the dummy treatment. The company says the vaccine is protecting 94.5% of people. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.